Um,
Shreveport Water and Sewer Director Barbara Featherston. You know what, Aaron, as a former resident of the Cross Lake area, and that's the part of town we'll start with,
okay.
she's got a lot of questions from a very knowledgeable mind.
You opened the gates, at least one gate early. Tell us the status of that. Where are we with regard to Cross Lake?
Right now, the lake level, last I checked on USGS, was 176.39. From historic records, I talked to my staff. Obviously, I haven't been around and not living on Cross Lake. We had the historic water level on the lake back in 1991 of 176.5, so we're fast approaching that level.
That's when I had water in my home. What is the status of the gates?
All of the gates are open. All of the gates have been open since Tuesday. We released some water over the previous weekend in anticipation of what we thought was a 4, 5, 6-inch rain event. Obviously, we've gotten probably more than double that by now.
Miss Barbara, I'm going to word this just the way I word things. In the grand scope of things, how is our federally condemned system shaping up? How's it working?
We've got a lot of water flowing through some pipes right now. We went from our normal flows at the plants of, 3 million gallons a day at the north plant and 25 million gallons a day at the south plant, Lucas, to, I think, last check I had this morning was 80 million gallons a day going through Lucas and almost 60 million gallons a day going through North Regional.
So only slightly more than normal.
Whoa.
Slightly more than normal. We are the river's coming up, so we started using our high water vehicle to get into North Regional. The road is flooded. We'll be boating in, probably boating in by the end of the event. We have additional bypass pumps. We started bringing those in as the forecast started changing ever so rapidly. So we've been making preparations. We had that berm around the Stoner lift station, and we had, of course, knocked a little hole out so water could drain during normal events. Well, we've put that back in place. We're pumping. We've got some lift stations with localized flooding, which is got to be getting close to historic. Has flooded some of our sewer pump stations out in the system. Some of our smaller lift stations. We're seeing flooding all across Northwest Louisiana that is just, changing everybody's lives right now.
What is the status, or is there, as Cross Lake is now at a record level, it looks like, that's our water supply. Does the flooding
Correct.
cause an issue with that?
We don't have an issue with that, no. The water is it's good, clean water, getting a lot more of it. The status of that is fine. We're treating water just like we always do. No problems there.
We spoke with Mike Wood earlier this hour or last hour about the damage that this could leave behind. You're kind of in the same boat. You have to wait till it's over to see if we have damage that's been done to city properties, right?
That's correct. I mean, we're already we're doing what we can to assess. Just getting status reports again this morning. I'm seeing some of my smaller lift stations are underwater. Some of our stations are, some of our facilities are inaccessible, due to road closures. That is hampering us a little bit. A lot of our infrastructure, particularly mechanical, is monitored remotely by radio, so that we're able to kind of keep up with, what's going on with the station, even if we can't physically get to it. However, when we start having power outages, the downed trees, and we start losing communications, and that just creates a whole nother problem for us. And staff is out everywhere looking at everything right now.
Miss Barbara, if you looked on social media yesterday, we talked about water, so now let's talk about sewer. On social media yesterday, especially in Bossier, you saw lots of folks' photos of things backing up and getting a little
gunky,
icky. And how's our system holding up in regard to that?
Well, we're having those same issues. It's raining over there and it's raining over here. We had staff inform me that as of yesterday afternoon, we went out on about almost 35 to 40 call-outs for sewer backing up, sewer coming out of manholes. Our crews, if they're not able to do work fixing pipes and that sort of thing, depending on whether it's lightning or not, they're out actually looking for those areas and see if there's things that we can do to relieve, if there's blockages in the line. We're trying to do everything that we can. But as of yesterday afternoon, we had been called out on close to 40 calls.
Should Aaron just not flush for a couple of days? Would that be a good idea? Just put the lid down?
No.
That's not going to make that.
I think that's
other words,
not going to make a big difference.
If we conserve, it's not going to make that big a deal, right?
No.
Let me ask you this, Barbara. We've talked before a bunch of times. We've had a year, and now going into this year, of several, one right after another, it seems, a freeze, a flood. How frustrating is this? Because you're trying to put Band-Aids on all around the city, and then you get hit with a big whoosh like this.
It's pretty frustrating. You can ask my husband what my temperament level is right now. So he's trying to help me and keep me calm and keep me grounded as much as possible, along with my staff. It is frustrating, and it's we meet regularly once a week with the mayor, with all the department heads, to talk about what's going on, and just hopefully this is not the new normal. And we see the river levels, 2 inches of raindrop, and all of a sudden the river levels go up 3 feet, and that's just not something that we've seen in the past.
Barbara, we were talking last hour.
I don't think we can fix it.
Talking last hour to Mike Wood, and I had addressed, and I'll ask you the same thing. For a city that is I'm not sure if strapped for cash is too strong a term, but for a city with, let's say, budgetary limitations, with everything, like Aaron said, that's happened over the last 12, 13, few months, this can't. I mean, just from a monetary point of view, this has got to be just a big problem.
It is a big problem, because the money that we're spending to go out and do either cleanup or little quick fix-its or bypass pumps or overtime, all of those things, add up over time, and it impacts our operating budgets. And when our operating budgets are strapped, that reduces the amount that we can spend on capital to do the full-blown repairs and replacements. And so we continue to do that Band-Aid, and it just doesn't help. It just definitely doesn't help.
Barbara Featherston, Shreveport Water and Sewer. I'm going to take a deep breath for you, because I know that's what you need today. Thank you so much for your time.
I appreciate it. No problem.